After years of research, mainstream archaeologists have said the massive stones were hewn at quarries over 60 miles away and then rolled to Pumapunku on logs.
What nobody talks about is the irrefutable fact that we are at an altitude of 12,800 feet, which means we are above the natural tree line. No trees ever grew in that area, meaning no trees were cut down in order to use wooden rollers. The wooden roller theory falls by the wayside.
Could there have been another, more profound method of moving these megalithic stones into place? And if so, how could such an advanced engineering feat have been accomplished without the help of modern machinery?
How these massive blocks of granite were moved from their quarries and brought here to Pumapunku would have required some kind of super technology. Levitation and anti-gravity, huge lifting vehicles, something that ancient aliens would have had.
Might the ancient city of Pumapunku really have been built by alien beings, as ancient astronaut theorists contend? Some researchers believe the ultimate proof can be found nearby, and also carved in stone. Southern Peru, 1549. While searching for the capital of the Inca Empire, Spanish conquistadors, led by Pedro Cieza de Leon, cross into Bolivia and discover the ruins of Tiwanaku. Less than a quarter-mile northeast of Pumapunku, mainstream scientists believe Tiwanaku was once the center of a civilization with more than 40,000 inhabitants.
Tiwanaku is probably the greatest Native American civilization that many people haven't heard of. It was one of the most important antecedents of the Inca. It was long gone by the time the Spaniards came on the scene. Yet its level of achievement in architecture, in political development, in agriculture, in many craft industries are on a very high level.
Most scholars agree that Tiwanaku was mysteriously abandoned around 1100 AD. But why? Local legends suggest that Tiwanaku was built as a site of religious pilgrimage to celebrate the arrival of sky gods at nearby Pumapunku. According to ancient astronaut theorists, the two sites were not only built at different times, but also by beings from different worlds.
Pumapunku, I think, is very of the gods. And I think mankind did very little with that site. And then nearby, our ancestors built Tiwanaku as a place where people could come to explore these places, but also, I think, as a tribute site where a god had once been physically present on planet Earth.
You have to differentiate two different styles of construction. The old style, which I call the extraterrestrial style, and then the later style, which was made by the humans.
Tiwanaku is nothing else but a place of pilgrimage for people to congregate and remember the time when something significant happened at Pumapunku. And the thing that was significant about it was an extraterrestrial visit by ancient aliens in the remote past.
But if Tiwanaku was built to honor extraterrestrial contact, as ancient astronaut theorists contend, might there be tangible evidence? In the 1960s, the Bolivian government excavated and unearthed the subterranean temple at Tiwanaku. Within the walls of the square sunken courtyard are hundreds of stone heads with a diverse range of features.
Here at the famous sunken temple at Tiwanaku, we have all of the different heads that have been inserted into the walls. It's sometimes said that there are all the races of mankind represented here, even elongated skulls, people wearing turbans, people with broad noses, people with thin noses, people with thick lips, people with thin lips, and some of the statues are particularly unusual.
They don't seem to represent the local people. They seem to represent every type and shape of human head existing on the planet. Two of them, which are very intriguing, are white in color, and they look very much like gray alien heads.
When we're looking at the carved heads of the Tiwanaku complex, you really see that it's almost as if this is a UN headquarters, whereby everybody was able to come there because all cultures on planet Earth accepted that Tiwanaku was so special because this was a place where contact with the divine had been made.
Some researchers believe a large statue at the center of the sunken temple depicts the creator god, known as Viracocha. But why would the inhabitants of Tiwanaku have depicted their most prominent god with features unlike their own?
He is got a beard and a mustache. And that is an unusual thing because American Indians do not have beards and mustaches.
Exactly. The fact also that the beard and the mustache are so pronounced. They're not little wispy ones, they're major. So that indicates that this person was not a South American native, but clearly came from another land.
And an important person too, who's somehow one of the founders here of Tiwanaku. Maybe even somebody who's come from Sumeria to South America.
Is it possible that the Sumerians, a civilization established in 4000 BC and located nearly 8,000 miles away, could be connected to the early inhabitants of Tiwanaku? If so, how? Ancient astronaut theorists believe the answer can be found at the Precious Metals Museum in La Paz, Bolivia.
This is perhaps one of the most important archaeological artifacts ever discovered at Tiwanaku or Pumapunku. This is the famous Fuente Magna bowl discovered near Tiwanaku. It's a ceramic bowl, and it has written on it Sumerian cuneiform plus Proto-Sumerian hieroglyphic script. This script is coming from circa 3000 BC. It draws a direct connection between the ancient Sumerians and Tiwanaku and Pumapunku.
Discovered near Lake Titicaca by a local farmer in the 1950s, researchers believe the vessel provides proof of extraterrestrial intervention at Pumapunku.
The idea of Sumerian writing being here at Pumapunku and Tiwanaku would seem to relate to the late Zachariah Sitchin and his ideas that the Sumerians were also interacting with these space beings called the Anunnaki. So in that case, the Anunnaki were there in Sumeria, but also here at Pumapunku and Tiwanaku in South America.
Could the stone sculptures found at Tiwanaku really be evidence of interaction with extraterrestrial beings, as ancient astronaut theorists believe? Perhaps the answer can be found by examining the legends of the creator god Viracocha and his mysterious origins.